The life of a bison, also commonly known as buffalo, is influenced by various factors including habitat, social structure, and interactions with other species. Here's an overview of the life of bison. 1. Habitat. Bison are native to North America, Europe, and Asia. The American bison, bison, is the most well-known and is found primarily in grasslands, prairies, and open woodlands. European bison, Bison bonagus, inhabit forested areas, while the Asian water buffalo, Bubulus arni, can be found in a variety of habitats, including grasslands and wetlands. 2. Social structure. Bison are social animals that form herds. The structure of these herds can change seasonally. During the breeding season, dominant males, bulls, compete for the attention of females, cows, and hierarchies within the herd may shift. In non-breeding times, herds may consist of cows, calves, and subadults. 3. Reproduction. Bison typically give birth to a single calf after a gestation period of about 9 months. Calves are born in the spring and are highly vulnerable to predation during their early months. The mother provides care and protection, and the entire herd may play a role in defending the calf. 4. Grazing behavior. Bison are herbivores with a diet primarily consisting of grasses. They are well adapted to grazing, with a specialized digestive system that allows them to extract nutrients from tough, fibrous plant material. 5. Seasonal movement. Bison herds may exhibit seasonal movements in search of food and water. In the past, these movements were influenced by natural factors, but in modern times, they may be constrained by human development and fenced habitats. 6. Adaptations to harsh conditions. Bison are adapted to withstand harsh weather conditions, including cold winters and hot summers. Their thick fur provides insulation, and they use their heads to plow through snow to access vegetation. 7. Threats and predators. Historically, bison faced natural predators such as wolves and grizzly bears. Today, human activities, including hunting and habitat loss, pose significant threats to bison populations. Conservation efforts have been made to protect and reintroduce bison in various regions. 8. Conservation status. The American bison, once on the brink of extinction due to overhunting in the 19th century, has seen successful conservation efforts. However, ongoing conservation is necessary to maintain viable populations. European bison, while recovering from near extinction, is still considered vulnerable. 9. Cultural significance. Bison hold cultural importance for many indigenous peoples in North America. They are often seen as symbols of strength, abundance, and interconnectedness with nature. Bison have played a crucial role in the livelihood and spirituality of indigenous communities. Understanding the life of bison involves considering their ecological role, social dynamics, and the challenges they face in the context of changing landscapes and human activities. Conservation efforts and sustainable management practices are essential for ensuring the continued existence of bison populations. 10. Water requirements. Bison, like many large herbivores, need access to water sources for drinking. They may congregate around rivers, lakes, or other water bodies, especially during dry periods. 11. Communication. Bison communicate with each other through vocalizations, body language, and scents. They produce grunts, snorts, and bellows, especially during the mating season. The use of scent marking helps in establishing territory and signaling reproductive readiness. 12. Migration patterns. Historically, bison herds in North America were known for their migratory patterns. They moved seasonally in search of fresh grazing lands. Migration aided in preventing overgrazing in a particular area and allowed them to follow the growth of new vegetation. 13. Wallowing behavior. Bison engage in wallowing, where they roll in dust or mud. This behavior serves several purposes, including removing parasites, regulating body temperature, and marking territory. Wallowing can create distinctive pits in the landscape. 14 Lifespan. The average lifespan of a bison in the wild is around 15 to 20 years. However, their lifespan can be influenced by factors such as predation, disease, and human-related threats. 15 Bison and fire ecology. Bison are considered ecosystem engineers because their grazing and wallowing activities can shape landscapes. In some ecosystems, their presence helps maintain a mosaic of vegetation types, and they may play a role in the natural process of fire ecology. 16 Bison and domestication. While domesticated breeds of buffalo, such as water buffalo, have been used for agriculture and draft purposes, attempts at domesticating the North American bison have been limited due to their wild nature. 17 Bison and winter survival. Bison are well adapted to harsh winter conditions. Their large, furry heads and humps help them plow through snow to access buried vegetation. They can also survive on snow as a water source when other sources are not available. 18 Bison and genetic diversity. Maintaining genetic diversity within bison populations is crucial for their long-term survival. Inbreeding can lead to health issues and reduced adaptability. Conservation efforts often involve genetic management to ensure healthy and resilient populations. 19 Bison as keystone species. Bison are considered keystone species in certain ecosystems. Their grazing and wallowing activities create habitats for other species, influence plant diversity, and contribute to the overall health of grassland ecosystems. 20 Bison restoration. Efforts to restore bison populations involve reintroducing them to areas where they historically roamed. These restoration projects aim to re-establish natural ecological processes and promote biodiversity. The life of bison is intricately connected to their ecological role, social behaviors, and their historical and cultural significance. Studying and understanding these aspects contribute to effective conservation strategies and sustainable management practices for these iconic animals. 21 Bison and calf behavior. Calves remain close to their mothers for protection during their early months. Bison mothers are highly protective, and calves often stay within the center of the herd for safety. 22 Bison and predation risk. While bison are large and powerful, they are not immune to predation. Wolves, in particular, are natural predators of bison and may target calves or weakened individuals. Bison may use their strength and herd structure to fend off predators. 23 Bison vocalizations. Bison communicate using a range of vocalizations. Calves may produce high-pitched calls to communicate with their mothers, while adult bison use deep grunts, bellows, and snorts for various purposes, including warning of danger or expressing dominance. 24 Bison and water crossings. Bison herds may need to cross rivers or streams during migrations. This can be a challenging and sometimes dangerous endeavor, especially for calves. Their strong swimming abilities help them navigate water obstacles. 25 Bison and ecological succession. Bison play a role in shaping landscapes through their grazing behavior. By consuming certain plant species, they can influence the composition of vegetation, promoting the growth of some plants over others and contributing to ecological succession. 26 Bison and cultural conservation. Indigenous peoples often play a vital role in the conservation and management of bison. Efforts to involve local communities in conservation programs, respecting traditional ecological knowledge, contribute to the broader success of bison conservation. 27 Bison and disease resistance. Bison have shown resilience to certain diseases that affect domestic cattle, such as brucellosis. Understanding their natural resistance to diseases is important for managing interactions between wild bison and livestock. 28 Bison and habitat fragmentation. Habitat fragmentation due to human activities can impact bison populations. Fragmented habitats may limit their ability to migrate, access resources, and maintain genetic diversity, emphasizing the importance of wildlife corridors and protected areas. 29 Bison and tourist impact. In areas where bison are a popular tourist attraction, human presence can impact their behavior. Bison may alter their feeding or resting patterns in response to the presence of tourists, highlighting the importance of responsible wildlife viewing practices. 30 Bison and climate change. Changes in climate patterns can affect the availability of food and water for bison. Altered vegetation growth and distribution may impact their migratory patterns and overall habitat suitability, making them sensitive to climate-related shifts. 31 Bison in literature and art. Bison have been celebrated in literature, art, and indigenous storytelling. Their symbolic significance is often portrayed in various cultural expressions, reflecting their importance in the collective human imagination. 32 Bison communication through body language. Beyond vocalizations, bison communicate through body language. They use gestures such as head nods, tail movements, and ear positions to convey information to other members of the herd. These nonvocal cues play a role in maintaining social order. 33 Bison and agonistic behavior. Agonistic behavior includes confrontations and displays of dominance or submission within the herd. Bulls may engage in head-butting or pushing matches during the mating season to establish dominance and mating rights. 34 Bison and adaptations to arid environments. Some bison populations inhabit arid regions, where water may be scarce. These populations have evolved to obtain moisture from the vegetation they consume, allowing them to survive in environments with limited water sources. 35 Bison and poaching. Despite conservation efforts, illegal poaching remains a threat to bison populations. The value of bison products, such as hides and horns, can drive illegal hunting. Conservation initiatives often involve anti-poaching measures and enforcement of protective regulations. 36 Bison and genetic introgression. In regions where wild bison interact with domestic cattle, there is a risk of genetic introgression, where the genetic material of bison becomes mixed with that of domestic cattle. This can impact the unique genetic identity of wild bison populations. 37 Bison and the Great Plains ecosystem. Bison were historically integral to the Great Plains ecosystem in North America. Their grazing and movement patterns influenced the structure and dynamics of grassland ecosystems, shaping the abundance and distribution of plant and animal species. 38 Bison and conservation grazing. Bison are sometimes introduced to landscapes for conservation grazing. Their natural foraging behaviors can help manage vegetation, control invasive plant species, and enhance overall ecosystem health. 39 Bison and bison ranching. Some ranchers raise bison for their meat and other products. Bison ranching often involves practices that mimic natural behaviors, such as rotational grazing, to promote the health of the animals and the land. 40 Bison and natural selection. The historic survival of bison in challenging environments reflects the process of natural selection. Traits such as a thick coat, efficient foraging behavior, and strong herding instincts have been favored through evolutionary processes. 41 Bison and winter feeding strategies. In winter, when vegetation may be scarce, bison use their strong heads to clear away snow and access buried grasses. This behavior, known as snow plowing, allows them to feed during harsh winter conditions. 42 Bison and bison jumps. Indigenous peoples historically employed bison jumps, natural or constructed cliffs, to facilitate communal hunts. Bison herds were directed toward these jumps, providing an efficient means of securing resources for sustenance and material goods. 43 Bison and biotic relationships. The presence of bison influences the behavior and distribution of other species in their ecosystems. For example, Birds such as the plains bison have a symbiotic relationship with bison herds, feeding on insects attracted to the animals. 44 Bison and bison trails. Over time, bison herds create well-worn paths, known as bison trails. These trails can persist for years and may influence the vegetation structure and soil composition along their routes. 45 Bison and conservation genetics. Conservation genetics plays a crucial role in managing and preserving bison populations. Genetic studies help maintain genetic diversity within herds, identify key populations for conservation, and prevent the loss of unique genetic traits. 46 Bison and maternal bonding. The maternal bond between a bison cow and her calf is strong. Calves remain close to their mothers for protection and guidance. The bond contributes to the survival and well-being of the calf, especially during its early vulnerable stages. 47 Bison and dung beetles. Bison dung provides an important resource for dung beetles. These beetles play a role in nutrient cycling by breaking down and burying dung. Their activities contribute to soil health and can influence plant growth. 48 Bison and seasonal coat changes. Bison undergo seasonal coat changes to adapt to temperature variations. In winter, their coats are dense and insulating, while in summer, they shed much of their fur to cope with warmer temperatures. 49 Bison and hybridization concerns. In regions where bison and cattle share habitats, there is a risk of hybridization between the two species. This can lead to the dilution of unique bison genetic traits and raises conservation concerns. 50 Bison and fire as a management tool. Controlled burns are sometimes used as a land management tool in bison habitats. Mimicking natural fire regimes helps maintain open grasslands, control woody vegetation, and promote the growth of plants preferred by bison. 51 Bison and cross-border conservation. Bison populations often extend across international borders. Collaborative conservation efforts involving multiple countries are necessary to ensure the continued viability of these transboundary populations. 52 Bison and cultural heritage sites. Some areas with historical bison significance, such as ancient bison hunting grounds or migratory routes, are recognized as cultural heritage sites. These sites hold importance for indigenous communities and conservationists alike. 53 Bison and translocation programs. Conservation efforts sometimes involve translocating bison to new areas to establish or augment populations. This may help restore ecosystems, increase genetic diversity, and create new opportunities for bison conservation. 54 Bison and the Pleistocene megafauna. Bison are often considered a surviving member of the Pleistocene megafauna, a group of large mammals that lived during the last ice age. Studying bison provides insights into the ecological roles of these megafauna species. 55 Bison and nitrogen cycling. Bison contribute to nitrogen cycling through their urine and dung. Their activities influence soil nutrient levels, affecting plant growth and the overall health of grassland ecosystems. 56 Bison and ecosystem resilience. The presence of bison in ecosystems contributes to ecological resilience. Their foraging and grazing behaviors create diverse habitats, and their movements help maintain dynamic landscapes that support a variety of plant and animal species. 57 Bison and animal-assisted therapy. Some programs incorporate bison into animal-assisted therapy initiatives. Interacting with bison in a controlled environment is believed to have therapeutic benefits for individuals dealing with stress, anxiety, or trauma. 58 Bison and symbolism in art and design. Bison motifs are prevalent in indigenous art, and their symbolism extends to contemporary art and design. Bison continue to inspire artistic expressions, representing themes of strength, survival, and interconnectedness with nature. 59 Bison and climate resilience. Bison herds, through their grazing patterns, can contribute to the resilience of grasslands in the face of climate change. Well-managed bison populations may help maintain ecosystem stability by preventing overgrowth of certain plant species and promoting biodiversity. 60. Bison and soil fertility. Bison activities, such as wallowing and